Hello all my beautiful friends, my name is Courtney Ferguson and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to look a little different in a lot of different clips of this video just because I went back to edit and I didn't really like my intro, so let's just jump on into it. So as you guys know from the title, there's a very interesting thing that I have figured out going through some of my makeup that I have, and I did recently just purchase a new palette that I'm super excited about. It is this beautiful palette here, the Pat McGarth Labs Mthrship Mega Celestial Divinity. Just to kind of give you a little sneak peek. Yeah, this is this bad boy. Look at all of those pretty little colors. So super duper excited. I went in, started playing with it, but the more that I played with it, the more I realized it kind of resembled a palette I already have. Disclaimer, this is no shade to anybody or anyone. This is not talking about stealing ideas or doing anything like that. I respect both of these beautiful women that have created both of these different palettes. And I feel like we understand that because there's so much makeup in the makeup community now, colors are overdone. Themes can be somewhat repeated throughout the different companies, and it's not anything that's bad. It just means that there's only so many colors you can do, and so many colors that go really, really well together. So that's just my disclaimer. We can get back to the video. This actually resembles this bad boy right here. And I know what you're thinking. No, it doesn't. How did you even come up with this? I actually do feel like they kind of resemble each other because if you sit there and you look, you see these bad boys, look at these bad boys, right? There are some similarities in the grouping of colors, right? What this video is going to be is us swatching, comparing some of the colors, making an eye look that hopefully is somewhat similar. Another disclaimer, I'm not saying that these are dupes. What I'm saying is that they're very, very similar, and you can get a very, very similar look for two different palettes that you might actually be able to save a little bit of coin on one of them. I think the first and foremost that got me thinking, oh, this is a very similar color to this, was sponsored in the Jackie Aina. So this is sponsored in Jackie Aina. This one is Venetian Orchid, and it's this one right here. Here's the Venetian Orchid. Go ahead and just put that on there. Okay. This is sponsored, which is one of my absolute favorite of all time. So you can kind of see the base is a little off, right? So I would sit there and say that the Venetian Orchid has a little bit of a pinkier base, while Sponsored has a little bit more of a brown base. But the reflection that you get from it is very similar. So the next, this one's closer to a dupe, I think, for me. So this is Wiggly's right here, this red, and this is Saturnala, okay? So I'm going to take Saturnala first. Nice red. And then Wiggly's right here. So still both beautiful reds. And again, they're a little off, right? Wiggly's is a little bit darker than Saturnala, but still very similar. This one's going to kind of be a little bit of a throwaway just because, I mean, they're definitely two different types of pinks. But I wanted to sit there and show that they can still kind of look a little similar on the eye, even though one of them's more warm, the other one's more cool. I'm going to take Supreme, this pink right here, and then I am going to be taking Venus Orchid, this one right here. So there's Venus Orchid. We're gonna and then Supreme, which she's right here, she's gonna go right here. So definitely, I mean, you can tell the Orchid one from Pat McGrath is definitely a cooler color than Supreme. So, but they still, when you blend them out, they still can give a similar effect. Next one I'm going to sit there and tell you about is going to be pinkier, darker purplish pinkier. And then this one is going to be Venomous Void, this one right here. I mean, they look pretty similar on the finger. This one's Pat McGrath, so this is Venomous Void, and then this one is pinkier. You can still tell that there's a little bit of a difference, but they give off very similar vibes, right? So a little bit cooler tone, a little bit warmer. Next one, okay, that we're going to do. So Soleil, and then I would sit there and say, let's see, where is it? Galactic Gold. So Galactic Gold has a little bit more of a gold underneath it, which is more champagne, but you get similar effect with it. It's light. It doesn't have a lot of pigment necessarily behind it, and it's super reflective. There's two more, okay? Dollars, it's right there. And then I'm going to take Lunar Champagne, which is right here. So Dollars, Lunar Champagne. Again, undertone's a little different, but super reflective, super chunky, okay? And I think Dollars has a little bit more of a yellow undertone, and this one of course has more of a champagne undertone. So, and then of course last one, they're browns. So this one's Credit, and then this brown right up at the top, and that is Major Mahogany. So you can already tell that this one's a lot warmer than this one. This one's a little bit darker. They work very, very similar on the eye, okay? Alrighty guys, so the first ones in the group is going to be your Jackie Aina palette, and your second one is going to be your Pat McGrath, okay? And it starts up here, and I know it's kind of hard to sit there and see, but the first one is Soleil, which is right here, and then it goes from there. So, but that right there is the similar colors that I saw. So there's still some that are different, but these are the ones that caught my eye that reminded me of each other. Alrighty, so now you know what time it is. Alright guys, we are back. I am prepped for this experiment, and I did get different brushes for different sides just so we don't cross-contaminate during our experiment. So these are fairly clean brushes, and I am going to do the Anastasia Jackie Aina on this side, and we're going to do the Pat McGrath eye on this side. I think what I am going to like is to try to do a pink look with both of these, just because they have the mostly mattes are pink. I am going to go in first with Supreme, and we're just going to put it right into our crease. Alrighty, so we see how pretty that looks. And again, we know from our swatches, Pat McGrath is going to be a little bit cooler toned. So we're going to take another fluffy brush, and we're going to go into the Venetian Orchid. Go ahead, and this one you do have to, I feel like, build up a little bit more color. So already kind of looking at it right here, this one looks a little bit like a hotter pink. This one looks like a little bit more cooler pink. So I'm going to take another fluffy brush, and I'm going into pinker right here. Go a little bit closer to that crease line. And we'll take this fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into the Venomous Void, which is this bad boy right here. Just do the same thing on this side. Cooler, warmer. I'm going to take my finger because this is what usually works best for these. So, and I'm going to take Dollars. So our nice little goldy, right? I'm just going to. And now I'm going to go into that Lunar Champagne, right? So we're going to go right there. similar chunkiness. I'm just gonna kind of be a little careful. I just like pushed into that and it kind of like moved the whole eyeshadow. So looking straight forward, still looking pretty good. So still looking quite similar. This obviously still has a little bit more of a champagne base. This has a little bit more of a gold base, but still overall looking pretty good. I'm gonna take a little bit of Soul right into this inner corner. Just liven it up just a tiny bit. And going into your Galactic Gold and the Pat McGrath one, just a little. Now what I am going to do is we're going to really quickly buff out the bottom portion of our lash with some color. And I'm going to really quickly finish up my eye makeup and I will be right back. Yeah, so this is the final look. I still think that there are some subtle differences, but overall I feel like they're very, very similar in the payoff that came off in the coloring, even though you do get one that's a little bit more warm compared to one that's a little bit more cool. These are what they look like again. So this one is Anastasia, this one's the Pat McGrath. This one is going to be the lesser of the expensive. This one's like, I think around $40, this one's around $70. I will put the pricing right onto the packaging. There's the dollar signs right there. But this does have a little bit less eyeshadows. This one's got about 14, this one's got about 18. And really, when you sit there and you watch a lot of makeup and like learn about a lot of makeup, a lot of the differences that you're going to get in makeup is not necessarily about the coloring or the theming of the colors with the different palettes, because there's only so many colors you can do. No one's making up new colors. That's not the way that that works. It's about how you're organizing it and how you're presenting it. And then of course, obviously the formulation of it and how well they work, right? What I guess I'm trying to get across is the fact that if you want, you don't necessarily have to spend the biggest dollar amount sign that you need to get very similar looks that work actually very, very well. Both of the palettes worked extremely well. They blended beautifully. They do both have fallout, which is, I'm a person who, that doesn't really matter. To me, they're both beautiful palettes, I guess is just what I'm saying. And you can get very, very similar looks. The end, that's what that is. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys, tell me what you guys think. Do you think that they're close enough to be dupeable? Do you think they're not close at all and you think I'm just being crazy and blowing it out of proportion? Are you kind of on my side of things, that they're not perfectly dupeable, but they're similar enough to get very, very similar looks? What do you guys think? I really want to know. I promise you, I really want to know. Comment down below. I would love to sit there and hear your guys' voices about this. I really enjoyed today and filming this look. I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. I'm really enjoying it with my new and improved little haircut. Thank you guys so much for coming and watching this. This was a lot of fun to film, and I hope to do somewhat more of these because, like what I said, it was a lot of fun to film. So I love you all, my beautiful friends. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!